Good evening, Belize, and welcome to XTV's news broadcast for Friday, October 25th, 2024. Making the headlines tonight, SpaceX applies to bring Starlink to Belize, MTUCB advises caution, workers' union objects, family of captivators arraigned, policewomen and partners deemed masterminds behind spate of Beaumont robberies, and more experts brought in to assist with fungus impacting northern cane fields. We take our first break and return with the news in detail.
we're ready.
Welcome back with your news. I am MarKeisha Young. Elon Musk's SpaceX, a satellite internet service provider, has applied to the Public Utilities Commission to bring Starlink to Belize. Starlink is a high-speed, low-latency internet service. SpaceX was registered as a local company on August 12, 2024, under the name Starlink Belize, LLC, by Juan David Valles. Listed as local subsidiaries director is Lauren Ashley Dreyer, out of California, USA. The application to the PUC was submitted on September 12, 2024. In the cover letter, Valles says Starlink is enthusiastic about helping to close the digital divide. In its company profile, SpaceX states it is currently providing fast, reliable internet to more than 3 million users in 101 markets on all 7 continents. On Wednesday, the National Trade Union Congress of Belize wrote the PUC outlining 5 concerns regarding such a major global player in telecommunications coming to Belize. According to the NTUCB, the telecommunication landscape in Belize is already highly saturated, and the Congress worries that Starlink's entry into Belize may not meaningfully enhance connectivity for citizens, but rather shift market dynamics in a way that could adversely impact existing providers and their ability to sustain services. This also links to concerns about the impact on BTL's contribution to the nation's development, which NTUCB says could be undermined by Starlink. Furthermore, the NTUCB argues if BTL experiences significant revenue loss, the jobs of many Belizeans could be at risk. A negative impact on BTL, says the Congress, would then affect the Social Security Board's investments. The NTUCB also points to potential data protection and national security risks. The umbrella union organization is proposing instead that SpaceX negotiates for BTL to be a reseller of its products. The PUC is currently inviting the public to share comments, after which a decision will be made. The deadline for submission is October 27th. Meanwhile, the Belize Communications Workers Union has formally expressed its objection to the Public Utilities Commission approving SpaceX to offer its Starlink satellite internet service in Belize. The union has raised concerns about the potential impact on the local telecoms industry, as well as job security for hundreds of employees. The family of kidnappers who held their daughter-in-law captive for 7 days were charged on Thursday and were arraigned this morning at the Belmopan Magistrate Court. 59-year-old Guatemalan pastor Luis Alfredo Teul Sr. and 59-year-old Matilda Games were charged for administering noxious matter or poison. Also charged was 24-year-old Luis Alfredo Teul Jr. with aggravated assault and wounding. The senior Teul was also charged with kidnapping, aggravated assault, wounding, and sexual assault. 43-year-old Elizabeth Teul, a Mexican housewife, was charged with kidnapping, wounding, and aggravated assault. They were remanded to the Belize Central Prison. All 4 maintained silence as they were being taken to the police mobile. Today, the Commissioner of Police said that he would not have wanted for faces of the perpetrators to be released, as this will undoubtedly bring embarrassment to the victim.
I saw that our press office issued the photographs of the arrestees. I would not have done that. That was ill-advised. I've not spoken to Ms. Hartens about it, but by issuing the photographs of those persons who are arrested, it then takes the public back to who the victim is. And the heinousness in which the crime was perpetrated against her, I am sure that it is going to bring shame to her. it is going to cause her to relive when people look at her, because people who know her husband, seeing his picture on the news, will know exactly who the person is. I don't think that in an instant like this we should have exposed her the way we did.
What about, is there an argument for police releasing those images so that the public is aware of who to be cautious of, the individuals?
No, that can't justify it. Like I said, I cannot blame my press office because I did not advise them on it. It was after I saw that the photographs were released that came to my mind that I should have spoken to Ms. Hernandez about it. It was already released, and so I just left it as that. But I would want to think that in the future we should guard against those things.
Commissioner of Police Chester Williams on Thursday confirmed that a police officer is among several people expected to be charged in relation to the robbery that occurred at BWEL in front of the Police Training Academy in Belmopan. Another happened in Roaring Creek Village, in which a motorcyclist had his motorcycle stolen.
Yes, we know of those robberies, and I can say that the police is narrowing down on those persons who are involved in those robberies, and I believe that pretty soon we should be making an arrest, including a police officer who may be involved in those robberies.
Today, the Commissioner of Police provided an update and said they believe the policewoman and her husband are the masterminds behind a spate of about 7 robberies of late in Belmopan. Around the beginning of October, cane farmers in the north started seeing effects of a fungus that causes wilting and yellowing of their cane. Authorities jumped into action to address the issue, holding trainings with farmers as well as bringing in experts to assist. Belize Sugar Industries, which itself has cane fields, reported this week that they also sourced 2 experts, one from Florida and the other from Mexico. Olivia Avalis, cane farmer relations manager at BSI, provided an update.
Last week we did an intensive run-through of the cane fields that are being affected. We're creating a map to detect where these cane fields are. And no, BSI at the moment has very few fields affected, but we are very concerned about the cane fields of the sugar cane farmers. So it is our business. At the end of the day, we're going to receive this cane at the mill, and one of the key things is going to be the cane quality coming from these fields that is going to really affect the grinding because it's losing sugar, and so that means that we're going to have more molasses, more reducing sugars, and it's going to take a lot to process. So we're trying to prepare for that internally at the factory, but we're also trying to help the farmers to monitor what's going on, because we're all new to this. And so we're joining forces with the task force that CIRDI is leading. And so all these sugarcane farmers associations are in that task force along with BSI, and we're going to give CIRDI and the government as much information and support as we can.
The situation requires remedial measures that must be implemented by the mill and the farmers.
There are a number of things that the experts have left in terms of recommendation. It's about, yes, we have to quarantine those fields, and we are making sure that those fields that we have at BSI, that the machinery is being sanitized, and even the machinery that we're using in Corozal, for example, is being sanitized when coming. There are a number of fungicides that have been identified, biological materials to protect the cane that is for next crop season, and we have a whole number of things that can be done, the recommendations, and so we are doing a full first monitoring so that we can understand the situation easily or better, and we can advise farmers and help CIRDI to create a strategy.
After the break, Minister asked if PUP members' walkouts from Senate inquiry equals transparency. Stay with us.
In the
This PUP administration now includes a good governance unit. Additionally, not long after coming to power, the administration introduced a good governance motion in the National Assembly to signal its commitment that it would walk a straight line in terms of how it's administered the public purse and administer the government's business. Last week, a cabinet member and PUP Senator Chris Koyi, as well as the cabinet secretary, walked out of the Portico Senate inquiry after only making a personal statement. They refused to take any questions from his colleague senators on the committee. This week, Minister of Public Service Henry Usher was asked if their walkout equals transparency.
Members of the PUP walked out of the Senate Special Select Committee inquiry. They refused to answer any questions. Is this good governance too?
They received legal advice to that effect, so I can't speak against what the legal advice was.
Minister of Public Service Henry Usher has confirmed reports we had previously received that several of the already few auditors within the Auditor General's office had not been assigned any work for at least 2 years. Our reports are that these derived from infighting within the department.
It's an issue that we have been trying to resolve at the Ministry of Public Service, looking at the human resource challenges within the Office of the Auditor General. I'm not sure if they didn't have anything at all to do. It's very rare that a public officer has nothing to do at all. But I do believe that there could have been more tasks assigned to these individuals. And that's why I said whoever assumes the post of Auditor General also has to be a good manager, has to be a good human resource manager in terms of being able to task out the different auditors within the office to go and do the different audits. So it is a challenge that we've been working on at the ministry, from the ministry's perspective. But we also have to be careful not to interfere too much in the independence of that office, because remember that office is an independently established office under the Constitution, so it's not like we can go in and just dictate how their operations are supposed to be done. We can't go in and tell the Auditor General's office, oh, you have to do these audits. They have an audit plan, they carry out that audit plan, and in terms of their operational objectives, that's something that the Auditor General herself or himself would have to do. But in terms of the issue that you raised just now, it was one that came to our attention and we were trying to intervene.
The post of Auditor General is currently being advertised. In the meantime, the Deputy Auditor General is acting in the post. Minister Usher rejected the argument that the post should not be on contract.
If that was the situation, then we would not have contracts for judges, we would not have contracts for the Contractor General, we would not have contracts for the Ombudsman's office. So I don't believe that that particular criticism would be one that we should be concerned about. What is of more concern is finding the right person for the post. Now, let me clarify, because it's the Office of the Prime Minister, according to Section 109 of the Constitution, the Office of the Prime Minister makes a recommendation and that the Governor General appoints the Auditor General. So it is not a regular contractual post in the public service where it goes to the Public Service Commission. It goes to the Governor General upon the advice of the Prime Minister and after, of course, consulting with the Leader of the Opposition. It also has to go to the National Assembly, both houses in the National Assembly, for approval. What happened last week Friday was that Section 109 subsection 2 says that even if you appoint an acting Auditor General, it still has to go to the House. So that was taken to the House, and Ms. Maria Rodriguez was appointed to act in the capacity of Auditor General for a period of 4 months while the vacancy is being filled, while the advertisement is still out. I also like to clarify that whenever there is a post in the government service, all of the vacancy advertisements look the same. This is not anything different other than the fact that it comes from the Office of the Prime Minister. But towards the end, when it speaks about compensation, it speaks about the pay scale that that particular post is on, and it shows the first point on the pay scale. Now, the first point on the pay scale of this particular post, which is pay scale 26, is 50,100 and something. That does not mean that that is the salary that this person will receive. That's just the way that these vacancies are advertised.
Over the weekend, near the conclusion of the Alliance for Democracy's Unity Convention, a police mobile was called to guard the UDP headquarters. The fear from the borough executive was that the newly declared interim leader of the UDP, Tracy Panton, would storm the headquarters with her supporters. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams on Thursday told the media that he called off the officers and said the department will not be used as a pawn by either faction.
Well, I had recalled the police from there. I said to them, I don't want police to be involved in the love affairs of the UDP. We're not going to be used as a pawn by either sides. That's an entanglement that they're in, and they must find a way to solve that. If it is that there is a threat to damage to property or a threat to life, then the police is going to respond. But in the absence of that, to be manning the UDP headquarters or the likes, the police is not going to do that, no.
At the beginning of this week, footage was calculated of Brian Yellowman on the net in front of the United Democratic Party headquarters, hurling threats against Leader of the Opposition, Honorable MarKeisha Barrow. Barrow has remarked that he will not file a report given the police's treatment of the complaint he filed against Second Deputy Leader of the UDP, Beverly Williams, whom he accused of threatening his life. Here's how the compol responded.
I had said to Shine, the matter that he had reported in respect to Beverly Williams is one which is a class complaint. If Beverly is arrested, then he needs to be arrested too. She also made a report against him. If it is that they wish to go to court and resolve the issue, then we have no issue doing that. In terms of the issue with Yellowman, I'm not fully aware of the nature of that complaint. I have not seen it, so I cannot comment on that, no.
Now, he said he doesn't want to make a complaint because he feels it might be futile and it should be up to the police to look into it, given that there's a video online.
No, it's not up to the police. If a person made a threat against you, it's your prerogative to come to the police and make a report. The police will not act if you don't come to the police and give a report, no.
After the break, 501 Transit app launched and Ladeville Tech Robotics team returns from a regional competition, that is. Stay tuned.
Take a deep breath.
Commissioner of Police Chester Williams did a meet and greet in the Cesar Ridge area within the Port Loyola Division. This time, the commissioner was accompanied by the area representative, Honorable Gilroy Usher. They explained the importance of the collaboration.
Well, basically, the police, along with the area rep, Mr. Girosha, has been in the port since last week. Last week we did the Jane Osha Boulevard area, and so this week we're doing this other part of Port Loyola. Again, it's a part of the ongoing community policing initiative and the police, working in tandem with the area rep, so that normally come on this meet and greet, people will say things to us, some concerns that we cannot address, that the political rep in the area could address. So Mr. Osha is here to ensure that those issues that relate to his office, that he can hear from the people and see how what he can do to address those issues.
The whole purpose of this meet and greet is to assure the citizens that the police is here to cooperate with them, to combat crime in every possible way, and also to persuade the young people to take advantage of the many benefits of the LIU program, to earn a honest living and also learn life skills, so that it is more easily for them to find employment in the wider community.
What do you think contributes to the decrease in crime?
Well, one of them is the effectiveness of the police in monitoring the different areas and in developing confidence in the people that whenever they assist the police in crime fighting activities, that will be kept within themselves and the police.
Based on the discussions you've had with residents over these past days or the week, like you said, are there any specific areas of concern, like maybe overgrown lots, anything like that, that residents have come to you and said, we need it solved?
Yes, certainly we have had those situations, and those are issues that myself and the minister have pledged to address. Looking at overgrown lots, we just discussed when we left the basketball court that the area is a bit too bushy, and we will partner next week to clean the basketball court and the park area on Cesar Ridge. So there are issues that we are addressing jointly.
The Belize Police Department today held a graduation ceremony for 34 police officers as it seeks to expand the PEACE program. This stands for Positive Engagement and Civic Education. The PEACE program is the successor to the GREAT program. The department put together a team of police officers under the leadership of Dr. Priscilla Brown and ACP Howell Gillett. Together, they drafted the manual for the program, which was piloted in 2023 in Belize City.
The expansion required that we had to train more police officers and instructors to go into the classroom and instruct on the content of the PEACE program. And so we are graduating 34 officers today, and those officers are from across the country, and their task will be to ensure that they go into the classrooms. As we now expand the program across the country, we expect that they are going to instruct the students on the content of this program. And again, it's a part of our community policing programs. You would know that we are currently embarking more aggressively on the importance of community policing. And if it is that we want to break the cycle of gangs, we have to start with our children who are in that primary school age. Making sure that we raise the tree the right way is important, because if you neglect the tree and the tree bends, it is going to be difficult to straighten that tree. And so we're here to go into the classroom, work with teachers, work with parents, to make sure that we get our young people to walk that straight line, teaching them life skills and other programs that is going to help them to become better decision makers as they grow into life.
The Ladeville Technical High School Robotics Club, who represented Belize at the 2024 Samsung Solve for Tomorrow Challenge in Guatemala City, returned today to a welcome party from the school and the Ministry of Education at the airport. Out of 11 countries, 13,000 students, these 5 students, Aiden Aguilar, Alyssa Escobar, Catherine Portillo, Adobe Thomas and Christian Gibson, and their teachers, Ardeth Rodon, represented the school and country for the second time in this competition, reaching the finals. Student Aguilar spoke about his experience.
My experience was a blast. We interacted with all the teams and we had a great time.
Okay, how was the competition like?
It was tense, but we got through all of our competitions and highs and lows.
And the support?
The support was 100% and more of our team. And for the school, I said that was a big plus.
Yeah, and how do you feel about, the entrance that you guys had with the marching band and the student body?
I was very surprised, but when I saw my principal, I said, wow, I know some will be big outside.
The excited Ladeville Technical principal, Diane Westby, is hoping for a repeat next year with the school having only just introduced the program.
We're hoping that this is the start of something very grand for the future, so all goes well, we should enter the competition next year.
Okay, and how was it getting the support from the student body? Was everybody volunteering, or was it something that you had to go pick up from the school?
We have what we call school-based program, and as part of that program, robotics was introduced, and so these were the students who expressed interest in the being part of the robotics team, and here we are today because of the dedication that they put towards being it.
Okay, and how long did Ladeville Tech use the robotics team? Like, how long was the robotics team introduced to the school?
Interestingly, why we're extremely proud of them, because it has only been for a couple months. It's not an entire year, just a couple months.
And 501 Transit, the app to go along with the e-buses that have been running since July this year in Belize City, has finally been launched. The app will make commuting easier for passengers in the Old Capital, as they will be able to tell how far the e-buses are from their stop. Mayor Bernard Wagner expressed his excitement at the launch and spoke about the future of the e-initiative that has been welcomed by the commuting public.
Additional milestone we reach. We started with the e-buses some while back. They are now up and running, functional, and now the app really complements that process and is a key milestone because it really speaks to connectivity with the residents, with the commuters, and having them know in real time where the buses are at any given time.
What's been the feedback you've been receiving for the electric buses on a whole?
Tremendous, tremendous, tremendous. I can't even explain the sort of embrace that the residents of the city, especially with elderly people, with students. I had a meeting with some of the schools who want additional buses to run opposite to how it is running, to bring in students into the school zone. The elderly, the people with diverse abilities have really embraced it, and it is so good to see that our youths, our children are being brought into this new era of transformation in the transportation industry. The kids of today will no longer be subjected to substandard transportation, and that is something that I embrace, and I stand by it, and I know that there's a better way ahead, and that in the future our children, unlike us, will not be subjected to that sort of substandard service.
So when can we expect more buses?
Well, that's a good question, but I am not setting pat. I have been making the calls, making the rounds. We know that there is a need for additional buses. You must have additional buses. In even one of the buses have some sort of mishap, and you are down to one bus, you will have that sort of pushback. So it's important that we are able to leave no one behind. We have residents living in the Port Loyola area. We have residents living in the Belama area who are agitating for this sort of transformation in their neck of the woods.
As for the e-taxis, the mayor says they are to be launched in November. And with that, we have come to the end of our newscast. A repeat can be viewed on this station later tonight at 9 and again Monday at midday. Join Marcel Amaya here Monday for another news broadcast, as I sadly announce that my journey as XTV's anchor has come to an end as I move on to a new chapter. I want to express my gratitude to you, our faithful viewers, for joining me in this journey of sharing the stories that matter the most. I am MarKeisha Young. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend.
Thank you.